The frequency upgrade. What got us here won't get us there. This is a conversation that I have been dying to have with you for months now, and I'm so excited because I am going to bring someone very special and near and dear to my heart on with us to have this conversation about the shift in the frequencies of the planet and the trajectory of where the planet is going, and what got us here won't get us there. So without further ado, I see her here. We're going to bring Louise on. Let's see. Oh, give me just a second. Louise is one of our Quantum Illumination Reiki certification program students. And actually, I'm going to take. Oh, did it come on? Oh. Okay, let me take my phone off Wi-Fi for a sec. Go live with. Accept. Let's see if that works. We never know what's going to happen when we're on IG Live. It just says whatever it wants to do. Okay. Please. Trying to accept anyway. See if you can request again. If not, we can restart. But Louise is one of our Quantum Illumination Reiki certification program students. Hey. Well, it says I am unable, or it says unable to join. Let's try again. Go live. Okay, I just sent you the request. Let's try again. Hey guys, if you guys are hopping on, say hi. Let us know that you are here. Yay, we did it! Hi! Look at your beautiful glasses. Oh my gosh, so cute. I love. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you are here. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an introduction. So, Louise and I connected earlier this year. She is currently in level 2 of our Quantum Illumination Reiki certification program, getting ready to be attuned, which is crazy. I can't believe we're here. And then we're starting level 3 in October, which is also bananas. And you guys, like, Louise, I just love your energy from the time we met. I'm like, first of all, I'm obsessed with your accent. I can't wait for you to talk. And every time you talk, I'm just like, I immediately feel calmer. You have such a beautiful gift, and seeing your growth has just been absolutely amazing. So I would love to just put the mic in your hand if you want to just introduce yourself, share about you, and we'll just go from there.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. This is amazing. I'm firstly, so grateful to you, darling. This has been such a journey for me, and I am so excited to send this ripple out into the world. It's incredible. I started my healing journey many years ago, and I started because I suffered so greatly from anxiety. And Reiki was something that really, really supported me. It was something that helped beyond talk therapy, beyond anything else. It was something that aligned with me, and I could feel the shifts, and it supported me so greatly. And the reason I started to train in Reiki was exactly that. Now, I've trained in Usui. I'm a Holy Fire master. And I said this to you. I listened to one of your lives, and it was, what got us here is not going to get us there. And I was like, the penny was like drop. And I have always felt, when working with Reiki on myself, with clients, there was something missing. And I often was using different modalities to support it. I was bringing in, exactly as I'm doing now, sound healing, angelic work, but there was something missing. And since I've started working with the Quantum Illumination Reiki, the shift has been huge. Not only for myself, because obviously that's where we start, right?
Yeah.
It's about learning this modality and enabling you to heal yourself, to feel the shifts yourself, so you understand what they look like when it's happening in others. But it has been so transformative for me, but the changes I've seen in clients, the shifts, the real-time shifts, it's the most exciting thing to be part of, because suddenly it felt like this puzzle was complete. It felt like it wasn't about channeling. It wasn't about tuning into something. We didn't need to step through a door. The portal is here. It's, you know, the infinite possibility is here, and we have access to that all the time. And the way that this course has, you know, the way that you've actually shared this with us all has been incredible. It's, you know, through flow, play, love, ease, joy, flow, like actually really enjoying the process. Healing doesn't have to be ick. It doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be really dark and miserable. Yes, we're dealing, you know, we're dealing with things that actually have had us stuck for a long time, actually might be really traumatic, but we can move through those with play, with flow, with feminine energy, not doing do. And actually this is, it's so empowering. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to share with my world even more about it, and to have you talking to me about it. So I'm super
Yeah.
excited.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember that conversation that we had when you were like, you sent me a voice note. I was sitting in my Jeep waiting for an appointment to go into an appointment with my son. I mean, we live in a city, so if you have to leave like either super early or you're sitting in traffic, and so we leave super early. And I was like, you had said to me, I just listened to a podcast or live or whatever it was, and you were like, something just landed. The what got us here won't get us there. And I'm like, yes, because I feel like we've entered this time where it's like we're feeling like there's something missing, right? And we've been, I mean, if Usui has been around for over 100 years, right? But if we're really honest, energy work and healing has been around for probably thousands of years. And like there's so many beautiful modalities out there, but as a planet continue to awaken and the consciousness collective continues to awaken, the frequency needs those higher frequencies. The planet needs those higher frequencies. And so when you landed in my DMs and we were having this conversation, I was like, yes, I like, we're definitely like, we're all feeling this collective shift. So yeah, and I love what you said too, where because I'm also trained in other modalities as well, and they're beautiful and they've served us. But gosh, we've got to change this narrative that healing is doom and gloom and dark night of the soul. And I'm like, it does it have to like I've been through those moments too. I
Yeah.
have been in them. I think we all have, but it's like, and it's not because we're on the other side of healing, it's because what we have available to us helps us get us through some really hard times through being able to shift quicker and land into our present moment. Oh, I just got chills. Land into that present moment, into ourselves even deeper.
Yeah. It's the,
Yeah.
I think it's the ability to shift swiftly, because I think,
Mhm.
you know, we often can sit in these really sad, this really, you know, sad, traumatic times, but it's also about shifting quickly and feeling that cellular shift quickly. When you have a physical manifestation of it, and it not only hits you from your conscious, your subconscious, and your whole, you know, physical being, that's what makes the difference, I think, is that, and that's what allows you to feel that light, to feel that shift. And I think certainly that's something that I've experienced with clients that I've been using quantum illumination on, is that they go, actually, I I can feel, so I feel like something has lifted. You know, I had a client last week, and she said, I actually feel like a burden has been lifted off me. And
Wow.
that's that real shift. That's that shift of energy. And, you know, holy fire is absolutely gorgeous. Reiki, all of it is gorgeous. But you're absolutely right, is it's that wasn't something that was available to me then. You know, yes, you know, I was able to provide beautiful calming sessions for the nervous system, sessions that were relaxing, sessions where people came out and said they felt lighter. I've never been able to provide a session where someone says, I know something's moved.
Yeah.
And it you don't actually need to know what it is either. You just
Mm-hmm.
know that something feels like it's shifted. And, even not just that feeling, but people have said, actually, today I feel like I can do the thing that I wasn't able to do before.
Oh,
And that's what's happening. And the more that I see clients repeatedly using this style of healing, the bigger and the more expansive people can feel. The taking up space. I've worked with a lot of women that have anxiety and feel like safety is important for them, but sometimes shrinking themselves and making themselves
mhm.
small is something that they've learned to do. But hold
Yeah.
on a minute. Hold on a minute. What if we could actually take up space? And this again is something that, in a frequency way, is allowing people to take up more space. And it's
Mm.
beautiful to actually see it when it's happening, or to feel that shift yourself.
Yeah, and to see it real time, because yes, I see that with my clients too, every single session. And so it's so much fun. It just brings me so much joy to see you guys are putting it out into the world, and now your clients are witnessing that too. And like PS, Louise is our first UK QIR healer, and she'll be our first QIR teacher as well in the UK, and that is just so epic. I love this. Kim, I am going to answer your question as well. That's a really amazing question. But I also, Louise, love what you said, where it's like that feeling of safety, where they feel safety and feeling small
Mm,
or like shrunken down, where safety, like what if the safety was like arms open and taking up space? That's also safe to be
yeah.
able to like be able to give women their power in
Mm,
that capacity is so amazing, because we live in a time where now it is actually safe for us as women to be able to take up space in the way that generations before couldn't.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's there's so much about this. It's even I always felt it was really weird with other forms that you had to have this I mean, for those people that have trained in Reiki, you have to have this symbol to step through a door, and to be able, like, I always thought that's so strange. It's so
Yes.
weird. Why have I got to open a door? And it's this access with, when you work with the quantum field, it's there. It's here already. It's around us. Those
Yeah.
infinite possibilities are there, just waiting to, and it's, you don't need to open a door. You
Yeah.
yourself, anyone is the portal to it. And it's, I think that was again that idea of why there was that missing piece. and
Hmm.
and really understanding as well, as I think the more and more, all of us, I think particularly since lockdown, as you said, people have really dipped into personal development, to
Hmm.
understanding, to tuning into their spirituality, to actually understanding that's a piece that you should work with as much as your emotional, your physical health, all of that. And you're absolutely right, people have this understanding now, but it's almost like they've hit a ceiling. We've hit a ceiling. Where
Hmm.
do we go
Yes.
now? And
Yes.
we've healed to this point, but people are doing the mindset work, they're doing the affirmations, they're doing the journaling, they're doing all the things, and becoming frustrated because until that frequency, until you can like bypass that ceiling that's created, until you're able to go like 3 4 5D, and
Yeah.
work with the levels of chakras that we're working with, like, it's that you understand that the possibilities are infinite. And I
Yeah.
think, I think there is this feeling at the moment that, hold on, like, I'm doing all these things and it's not working. And I think that's the thing that people are calling for now. And that's why
Yeah.
that what got us here is not going to get us there. And that's why
Yeah.
it was like, oh, this makes sense.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I love this so much. And for those of you that are like, what is she talking about, a door?
Yeah.
So like the traditional styles of Reiki, we're typically taught you have to use a distance symbol. That's a door. Well, in quantum illumination Reiki, we work with the knowingness that time and space is an illusion. And if time and space is an illusion and it doesn't actually exist, why do we have to open up a door to sin? Like, you can be in Australia and I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and I can literally send you healing. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. There is no door. That is an actual 3D concept that
Mm.
we are playing with. And it's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's just information, right? But when
Mhm.
we start to question those things, and then also channeling the life force energy, which we love, like that's how we were taught. And also we get to ask these bigger questions like, why do I have to channel it when life force energy is in this? It's in this, it's in this, it's in this, like it's
Mm.
in everything and everyone. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean I have to channel it? Why can't I just grab it from the quantum field? My hands are vibrating. Why have to
Mine
grab
too.
it from the quantum field and just give it to you? Like it gets to be
Yeah.
that easy. Let me
Yeah.
answer Kim's question really quick. She said, is Reiki learned or a natural gift that you have to tap in to go deeper? I love this because this is twofold. Like quantum illumination Reiki, I started channeling in 2021, and now it's a certification program, 3 levels that you can learn. Just DM Quantum, and also like you can learn it. There's so many different styles available to date, and also there I've noticed like there's a couple people inside of our certification program that have started channeling their own modalities as well. One of my old clients from like 2022 or 23 or something like that, I noticed she's launching her own style of energy healing too. So there's definitely something beautiful that happens when you tap into these higher frequencies, doorways open, and you channel in your own modality. And sometimes this does start with accessing higher frequencies like quantum illumination Reiki, because we are vibrating at 5D plus frequencies versus, traditional styles of Reiki. Again, not good or bad, not right or wrong, but they are vibrating at 3.5D to 4.5D max. And we're working within the 7 main chakra system versus the higher chakra systems, which is karmic cycles and patterns, soul, galactic, generational healing. And so yes, that's like a really deep question. I feel like I could do a whole live on that, but
And
I
also, that's just something to add from my side of
yeah.
things or experience with that is, yes, I think, that we have people that are intuitive, absolutely, but we all are intuitive. And it's actually about kind of opening those portals. And something I've definitely experienced from probably the first week of this program of Quantum Illumination Reiki is that those channels open up. They're opening, they're expanding, you see things differently. Suddenly you're like, huh? Why am I hearing those things? Why am I seeing those things? Hold on. And those things will drop in. So yes, you can learn it. You can learn it. Absolutely. But also it's already there. It's
Yes.
already there. Like
Yes.
you already have that
Mhm.
intuitively.
Mhm.
We all have the ability to heal ourselves, to heal others. But it's about learning how to tune into that, and
Yeah.
almost like how to put a window wiper against the fog of what the conditioning has created all the
Yeah.
way through birth and through, even through family lines. But it is,
Mhm.
we all have the ability. So that lady, you have the ability,
Yes.
but it is just about how do you clear the way? How do you clear the
Yes.
way to get back to your soul essence to be able
Yes.
to really do this?
Ugh, Soul Essence. That's one of my favorites. And yes, it's exactly that. It's this remembering. It's like quantum illumination Reiki is like a tool for sure. Like it's helping you vibrate higher. It's helping you access higher chakras and all of those beautiful deep level healings that no other style is doing. And all it's doing is clearing that way for, not all it's doing, but what it's doing is it's clearing those lower frequencies. It's opening up your channel for what was already there. It was just waiting for you to access it, is
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I
yeah.
want to go like, I kind of want to like circle back. So you got certified in Reiki because of like feeling the anxiousness, and that really opened up your path.
Mhm.
And which is so amazing. That was actually very similar to my story as well, which I love. I actually haven't talked about that in a while, but yeah, I love that connection. And so you got trained and certified after or in Usui and Holy
Holy
Fire,
fire. Yeah.
at the master level. So what I do want to talk about the difference between quantum illumination and holy fire, and I want to get there in just a moment because you're like the perfect person to be able to talk about those differences.
Mhm.
But what drew you to quantum illumination Reiki itself Oh, and by the way, before I forget too, you said in the first week you were noticing your channels opening. You guys, we're not even using the first key in the first week. We're tapping
Yeah,
into the energy and the frequency of the quantum field. Like we haven't even gotten started yet. And everybody's like,
yeah.
I'm manifesting. My psychic abilities are, oh, the soul code. And I'm like, we're just getting started.
But it's true. And I think even in the community, everyone was talking about it within the first week of like, oh, wow, what's this actually going to be like when we haven't even learned a key yet. And I think even the idea of like, keys and talisman as opposed to this, and I'm not saying this to be negative to any other styles because they have
Yeah.
served me so beautifully and
Mhm.
they've
Yeah.
got me here. They're just
Yeah,
not going to
right?
get me there.
Yeah.
But they it's a really, it feels a very outdated way of the
Yeah.
concept of symbols and things like that. It seems
Mhm.
outdated, it seems clunky, it
Yeah.
seems, it seems almost, something that you can't necessarily feel alignment with.
Mhm.
Where the way within quantum illumination Reiki, we're working with, keys, with symbols. It's with talisman, even the idea, even that concept is really about tuning in, not
Mhm. Yeah.
all like, tuning into the energy that's there, not like pulling or drawing into this.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a real different feel about it. And I think the reason that I wanted to do this was one you and really, recognizing your energy and kind of finding that common ground and understanding. But also it was really knowing that I wanted to support my clients more.
Yeah.
I wanted them to have deeper shifts. I also knew there was stuff that I had to work on. I
Yeah.
knew that I was, I knew that very much as I described, we all are feeling, hitting a ceiling. I knew that there was only so much work that could be done. There was
Mhm.
only so much of a shift that I could create in my reality without having something else. And that's what really called me. It was like something is telling me, some little tick in my intuition is telling me this is the missing piece. And I'm so glad that I took that jump, because as soon, I think I was only 2 weeks into level one and I was like, sign me up for the whole thing.
Yeah.
um
I'm in.
I want to teach this. This is something that I am so passionate about now, because I've felt, seen the shifts that it can create, and I want to, support, the world to feel this same shift. So we need to multiply.
Yes, the butterfly effect.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
need
the
this
butterfly
ripple
effect.
to continue.
Yeah. I love this so much. And like I even was just thinking, like, even from a physical standpoint, like you are like actually glowing. It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's
I
so
mean,
amazing.
I before I started with you, I had such a severe problem with my eczema. My eczema was, I was constantly having to take steroids. I was putting steroids, topical stuff on. I was constantly having courses of steroids, like oral steroids. And I started using one particular key, and I was like, guys, I remember sending it to the community being like, I've been practicing and this is kind of what's happened. And it's kind of it's the it's the emotional, it's the physical, but it's more than that. This is, we're able to shift stuff, through, generational, through
Mhm.
lifetimes,
Yeah.
remembering who we have been before. And
Mhm.
that's something that, I've never experienced before.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. It's like so amazing what happens when you clear out the low frequencies and you
Mm,
like you actually like it actually physically shows, which is
yeah.
so beautiful. Okay, so let's dive into the difference between Holy Fire. I want to ask or answer Kim's question as well. Do you feel drained after a session? I'm going to answer this, and I would love for you to answer this too, Louise. And does the other person's energy affect you? So absolutely never feel drained after after a session, not ever. And if it can happen with traditional Reiki, I know I did. And does the other, but it doesn't ever with quantum illumination. Usually people feel calm, like our facilitators will feel calm, they'll feel grounded or even excited. Like I'll get up from a session, I'll be like, yay, like let's go, like do, 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 do. Or I'll just feel like so calm and grounded and aligned that like just really depends, but never drained. And then the other person's energy never should affect you. I don't even teach, like, I know this has come up as well. It's like, should you go into a session like and fully protect your energy? And I'm like, if you're going into your session fully protecting your energy, you're going in from a space of fear instead of like grounded. Ooh, I just got chills. Grounded alignment and trust in you, the quantum field, quantum illumination, Reiki, your own energy, your spirit team, your higher self, and your deep knowingness grounded in your truth. So, do I smudge before a session? Yeah. Do I smudge after a session? Yeah, but I'm not like Archangel Michael, Black Tourmaline, call in the Calgary to protect my energy. I just never like I just don't feel like it's necessary. Everybody can do whatever they want. I always want everyone to use their own discernment, but yeah, so I would love to hear that from you too, Louise.
I absolutely do. I never feel drained after a quantum
Mhm.
illumination session. Never. And but I have experienced my when my journey first begun with a Sui, I definitely felt drained. I
Yeah.
definitely felt drained. And I think that's because sometimes you're almost taught to call that energy through
Yeah.
yourself and channel it out.
Hmm.
And it almost then is taking some of it, you know,
Yeah.
you are, yeah, you know, and I did definitely after session, you know, when I first started training, I did definitely feel drained after. And I was also trained to protect my energy, and I
Hmm.
always did, and I
Hmm.
always did, and I do. Don't get me wrong, I
Yeah.
still do protect my energy when it comes to these sessions. When it comes to quantum illumination, I don't feel it's necessary. I, like you, I love a bit of ritual because that's part
Yeah.
of my personality,
Hmm.
and I adore it. I love
Yeah.
crystals. You know,
Yes.
I love working with different herbs. You know, I've got a walnut
Mhm.
tree that I grew like 35 years ago in my garden, and his leaves I often burn just because to call his energy in.
Yeah.
Um, but I never feel like I'm drained or taking on that person's energy. And
Mhm.
actually, even more, I feel like it's supporting me every session that I have.
Yes.
It's kind,
Yeah.
you know, every session I have, I'm supporting others, but supporting myself. It's like
Mhm.
it's like a kind of next level elevation all the time.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And too, like with traditional styles of Reiki, when we are channeling that energy, it's actually, it depends on what the facilitator is going through as well, because I mean, we're just human too, right?
Yeah.
We're just all having a human experience, but it's that beautiful life force energy. It's going through us, it's healing us
Mm-hmm.
first, and then it's watering down the experience
Mm-hmm.
for our clients. With
Mm-hmm.
quantum illumination Reiki, I'm not saying go into a session when you are having like a full-on meltdown. We never want to do that. Like reschedule the session,
Yeah.
right? But like if you are happening to going through something in your life, like it's okay to do the session. Like you are still grabbing the full power and the potential of quantum illumination Reiki itself, of the quantum field. You're going to be able to provide an epic session. Like I've had some really wild things happen in my life where I'm like, oh, I'm going through it right now, but I'm aligned, I'm good, I'm gonna do this session. And it's
Mm-hmm.
always amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I think it is because the concept is different. We're calling in something that's there. And
Yeah.
it's not about channeling, it's not about
Mhm.
that. And I think that's why these sessions are so expansive, because you're calling in infinite possibilities. Like, and
Yeah.
the quantum field is part of us. We're part of the quantum field. We're calling in the infinite possibilities. And I think that's why people feel the shift and feel the expansion, because it's part of us. That
Yeah.
energy is already part of us.
Yeah.
And it is different. It is
Mm-hmm.
different for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Um, okay, I'm glad that was helpful, Kim. Thank you for asking. And Michelle also
Hi,
said
Kim.
Michelle is level 2, also going into level 3 with us, and she said she never feels drained after session 2. So, and also very common. Okay, so talk to us about someone and let me just preface. I always like to preface and say like just know our hearts. We're not coming from a malicious place or something is better than the other. Just like factual information based on our experience, right? That we love all styles of Reiki. And personally, like I said, I'm personally trained in other styles as well. And before I channeled quantum illumination Reiki and so we just love to see like what that difference is between traditional styles of Reiki and quantum illumination Reiki. And like I said at the beginning, like one of the most asked questions that I get is what that question, traditional versus quantum illumination, but holy fire versus quantum illumination Reiki. So from your perspective as someone that's a master, what would you say those differences are for you?
Firstly, I would say I feel that the holy fire is structured. It's coming from
Mhm.
a structure, and behind it there is a real belief system.
Mhm.
And quantum illumination is not that. Quantum illumination is flow. It's tuning in, it's softness, and it's really understanding the greater ability of everything. And I
Mm.
think Holy Fire is just far more structured. And when we look at even how it's taught, so if we're looking at enjoying how that training was, how the training that I took for the Holy Fire and the training for quantum illumination, it's completely different. It's
Yeah.
really not Holy Fire is teaching you. Quantum illumination is really allowing you to learn to tune in, heal yourself, and serve others.
Yeah.
And I think that's a massive difference. Another difference is actually the level of frequency that you're able to work on yourself, but also offer others. So, there is something. Holy Fire is fantastic, and again, it's served me so well. But there's a limit to the level of healing you can hit. I've never felt when working with Holy Fire that I have necessarily really seen real time shifts.
Mhm.
um, I have definitely provided beautiful sessions. There definitely have been shifts, but I've never seen it shifted in real time. I've had a client with quantum illumination actually go, "Oh, wow, I've just felt that." And I've had a client get up at the end of this, as I said, and get up at the end of the session and say they have felt a physical, a physical difference. I think another thing is, Holy Fire is not tuning into the higher chakras at all. We're not necessarily tuning into these, it's more of a 3D, maybe 4D concept, but we're definitely
Mhm.
not going 5D.
Yeah.
And I think that is really a noticeable difference with quantum illumination, because you're able to really deal with those, get back to that source, that core of who
Mm.
you are,
Yeah.
that losing all of that ancestral baggage, really
Mhm.
tuning back into those higher frequencies. Something else I've really found with quantum illumination is it absolutely aligns so beautifully to the angelic work that I did.
Mm.
Holy Fire, I actually felt it butted heads sometimes. It
Wow.
didn't. It didn't. Like, it didn't do this. Quantum
Right.
illumination, because we're tuning into those higher frequencies, it's like it just goes like this.
Yeah.
And it's like it only amplifies, the
Yeah.
healing you're doing, where sometimes that didn't have that gel. So there's lots of differences. And I think certainly, something, if you were looking at both and wanting to decide where should you take your, what would the training best suit you, i think I think it really does depend on your style of learning as well, because I certainly feel that Holy Fire comes from a very structured, regimented way of learning. There's a right, there's a wrong, and this is that.
Yeah.
Quantum illumination is all about, what do you feel, what are you sensing, how do you understand this, and what are you calling in. And it's also about, community. We've got a fantastic community, we're learning and enjoying it, we're having so much fun healing ourselves, that we
Yeah.
just are so excited to spread this to other people. So there are, both perfectly gorgeous and
Mhm.
both have their weight. But if I could share anything to anyone, is that I trained in Holy Fire and it got me here, but it's not going to get me
Yeah. Woof. Mic drop.
there.
No, that's so beautiful. And I love hearing that perspective because, I've witnessed some very similar things within other styles that I've gotten trained into. And community, I love that you mentioned community because that is a driving force for me always. I'm like, what do you mean we are supposed to change the world with this beautiful modality, but we don't have access to the teacher or the community? Like,
Yeah,
what? No.
yeah.
So yeah, I love our community and it's like I'm just there. Like you guys have co-created such a beautiful space that just lights me up so much to see your guys' joy. And it was really fun to hear how, you mix and mingle because it's always like, okay, well, can I, use quantum illumination Reiki in conjunction with other modalities? And absolutely yes. My suggestion while learning it is, and one of the questions that, has come up in our certification program or like challenges is like, oh, I'm experiencing this really difficult thing. Like I feel like I'm purging. I'm like, well, what other style or modality are you using in conjunction with quantum illumination Reiki? Because QIR won't do that.
Yeah.
It just like so when we're learning it, my suggestion is always to like really tune in, submerge yourself into the community, submerge yourself into this learning opportunity, and then learn how it is that you're going to like co-create a
Mm.
beautiful healing experience for your clients that makes sense for you and your soul as you move forward after attunement. So yeah.
I think also like definitely now my sessions that I offer now, and they will always expand and always be expansive and
Mhm.
always change,
Mhm.
but certainly for the sessions that I run now, quantum illumination Reiki is the backbone and the other things are just beautifully entwining around it. Where it's such a something that I haven't actually said is how gentle it is, how soft
Mhm.
it is, and how you don't necessarily feel like you're shifting all this heavy, ugh, horrible
Yeah.
energy, and it is soft and it's gentle and it's so gentle on the nervous system, but
Mhm.
it's having these big shifts, and it is because it's because we're working with the quantum field. It is different, and it is able to provide such beautiful genuine gentle shifts, that actually that's why I've decided to kind of use it as the backbone in all of my sessions, and kind of depending on the client, depending the additional support that will then be weaved amongst it, because actually it does beautifully support other modalities as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. And something just came through. I would love to ask you, and I'll share something as well because you mentioned the depth of which, the gentleness of which it heals, which like does not also mean or translate not powerful because my hands
Mm.
are still vibrating. Like, here you go, guys. It's like, that does not mean potent and powerful because it absolutely is. So I I'll share this. I want to say it was like 2 weeks ago. I got a comment on one of my YouTube videos, which like whatever, I get hate comments. Like I'm going to create something. So I've been taking screenshots and putting them in folders because there's like a level of like fun that you can play with some of these things. But it was from something that happened from a modern day witch hunt from a year and a half or so ago. That was like 18 months. And this one actually surprised me and I was like, oh, that was rude. And I was like, block, delete. But for whatever reason, it like I got a body response and I was like,
Mm.
okay. So after client calls and stuff, I went to our pool. We have a lazy river in our community. And I used one of the last key that we taught in level
Mhm.
2. And this is untangling karmic patterns and cycles. And when I say that this was intertwined in
Mm.
my body, I was feeling it and I was like, okay, we're gonna just float in the lazy river and just let the water push. And as I was doing that, I had my hands behind me and I was allowing that frequency to
Mm.
untangle and release and be cleansed in the water. I got out and I'm like unbothered. Like
Yeah.
unbothered. There's something, and that situation was a traumatic situation. I'm good now, but like sometimes, you just have those little moments and it's like, okay, but do we have to sit in it or can we just go heal, clear, and release in a way that feels
Yeah.
so aligned and come back to our power because the world needs us in our power?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that is so beautiful how you just explained that. It's, we are always going to be triggered by things that have happened before.
Hmm.
There are always going to be, and people always say about the onion, don't they? There's always going to be another layer. There's always going to be another layer, and then something raw is exposed, and and
Yeah.
then something might poke at it
Yeah.
that happens in the real world, right? But
Mhm.
exactly that is about having the tools, whether you want to, whether you actually wanted to spread this like I do, or whether you just want those tools for yourself to
Yes.
just for that moment to go, okay, I've recognized this, I can feel it in my body, and I want to shift it. I want to shift it now,
Mhm.
and I just want to step out of it. And
Yep.
that is something that, quantum, I've witnessed it do for myself, but for other people, really at the end of the session, feel, hold on, yeah, I feel fine. It's released, and it hasn't been painful.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. It's powerful, it's potent, but it's gentle. It's not going to force your nervous system to go into some like crazy
Yeah.
disarray.
Yeah.
And I think that's so beautifully. I love the fact that you used it with water as well. I love that.
Yes. I was like, we're gonna play.
Yeah, I
So,
love that.
what has been the thing that has surprised you the most about either healing with QIR and